Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and once again we're going to look at Star Wars X-Wing. So yeah, I figured I'd take a break from my Star Wars Armada series just for a little bit. As much as I love that game, I love Star Wars X-Wing more. Not because I think it's a better game, but simply because there's more content, and I love playing it. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, the purpose of this video is to go over some of my favorite combinations. What do I mean by combinations? Well, those are ships and pilots and upgrade cards that mesh very well together. Am I going to cover all of them? Absolutely not. There are so many pilots and so many upgrade cards that I couldn't cover them all. I don't know them all. I'm only human. I don't play the game enough to know all of them. But I'm going to cover the ones that I found and that I enjoy playing. And maybe it'll give some of you an idea, especially you new players out there, as to what kind of ships and upgrade cards to put together to give yourself some sort of advantage. For those of you veterans out there that play this game religiously, this video may be boring to you, but who knows, you might come across a combination that you haven't considered before. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the video started. Okay, the first set of combinations we're going to look at involves Push the Limit, which is an upgrade card. It's an elite one, so you have to make sure that you have the elite symbol in your upgrade bar here. But Push the Limit states, once per round, after you perform an action, you may perform one free action shown in your action bar, then receive one stress token. There are a few pilots in this game, like Ibit Sam, Tycho Kelchu, and Sunter Fel, that sort of have special rules regarding stress tokens. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Sunter Fel. He is this TIE Interceptor over here on the left. Just as a quick example, let's say that the A-Wing and the B-Wing have already activated, and now the TIE Interceptor has some choices to make. Obviously, going up against two Rebel ships like this is not within the best interest of a TIE Interceptor, because it doesn't have shields and only has like 3 hull points. So, with Sunter Fel's special ability states, when you receive a stress token, you may assign one focus token to your ship. And coupled with Push the Limit here, you can actually get a lot of actions on your turn. So let's go ahead and play this out so I can show you what I mean. Let's just say that the TIE Interceptor is going to go 2 straight ahead. I don't have the maneuver dials on hand to know if that's okay or possible for a TIE Interceptor, but just bear with me for example purposes. So let's say that the TIE Interceptor does this, okay, and then takes an action. Let's say he goes ahead and takes, let's say he takes a focus action, okay? Now he's going to go ahead and use Push the Limit. Once per round, after you perform an action, you may perform one free action shown in your action bar, then receive a stress token. So let's say that Sunter Fel decides to use Push the Limit, and that allows him to do a barrel roll, which puts him, say, out here, like this, okay? Now, his special ability kicks in because he received a stress token because he used Push the Limit. His special ability states, again, when you receive a stress token, you may assign one focus token to your ship. So in addition to this focus token here, Sunter Fel would receive an additional focus token. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, you can't take the same action on your turn twice, right? Well, that's true, but you're not actually taking another action. You're getting a free token assigned to you. There's a difference between taking an action and assigning yourself a token. In this case, the ability simply states that you may assign one focus token to your ship. So now, Sunter Fel has basically achieved the equivalent of 3 actions, 1 barrel roll and 2 focus. And he managed to maneuver himself in such a way to where he would not be in range of the B-Wing here, which basically puts him into an advantageous position. Plus, he has 2 focus tokens to use, 1 for attack and 1 for defense. Tycho Kelchu, who is this A-Wing over here. Tycho Kelchu's special ability states, you may perform actions even while you have stress tokens. So, let's just say that the A-Wing here has yet to activate, and he will do so. Again, I don't have the maneuver dial on hand, so I don't know what his possible K-turns are. But let's say he wants to make a K-turn and ends up somewhere out here, like so, behind the TIE Interceptor. Now, whenever you perform a K-turn, you usually get a stress token because most K-turns are red. The exceptions are like with the TIE Defender, which has a white K-turn. But Tycho Kelchu doesn't have to worry about stress tokens. He can still take an action after performing this K-turn if he wants to. So he could give himself focus token if he wants to. On top of that, he has Push the Limit. Once per round, after you perform an action, you may perform one free action shown in your action bar, then receive one stress token. So he could go ahead and take a target lock if he wants to on this TIE Interceptor. Of course, he'll have 2 stress tokens, but again, Tycho Kelchu doesn't care about stress tokens. So yeah, that's another interesting combination. Again, it's Tycho Kelchu and Push the Limit. And finally, we have Ibit Sam here in the B-Wing. His special ability states, when attacking or defending, if you have at least 1 stress token, you may re-roll 1 of your dice. So basically, you'll want stress tokens on this guy during the combat phase so that you can re-roll your dice, okay? So let's just say that the B-Wing here decides to, I guess, go 1 straight ahead. Again, I don't have the maneuver dials on me, so this could be wrong, I don't know. But just for example purposes, let's say he does that and decides to take a target lock. He can go ahead and use Push the Limit, which gives him a stress token to use for the combat round, and he'll go ahead and take a focus. So now he's in a good position here against this TIE Interceptor, and on top of that, because he has a stress token, he can re-roll 1 of his dice. Alright, now speaking of red maneuvers and stress tokens, there are ways around instances where you are forced to take a red maneuver but still want to take an action. In this case, we've got the Advanced Sensors upgrade, and you have to have a certain type of upgrade symbol in order to do it. The B-Wing is one such vehicle that can sport that kind of upgrade. The Advanced Sensor says, immediately before you reveal your maneuver, you may perform 1 free action. If you use this ability, you must skip your perform action step during this round. So let's say that this B-Wing wants to get behind this TIE Interceptor, but take a target lock at the same time. Well, if you know Star Wars X-Wing, you know that after you perform a red maneuver, you receive a stress token, and you will not be able to take an action after that. Well, that's where this Advanced Sensors comes into play here. And this meshes well with his special ability. The Advanced Sensors allows him to take the action before revealing his dial. So he could take the target lock, like that, then reveal the dial, then move his ship, give himself a stress token, and now his special ability kicks in. When attacking or defending, if you have at least 1 stress token, you may re-roll 1 of your dice. So Ibit Sam and Advanced Sensors, with his special ability, I think meshes pretty well. The next combination I want to quickly touch on involves Karan Horn and an E-Wing here, with the fire control system and the marksmanship upgrade. All of this is 40 points, so it's pretty expensive to put together. But if you can keep this guy alive, he will serve you well. He is a DPS powerhouse. That's a video game slang, DPS, damage per second. Basically, he's great at attacking with all of these things combined. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let's just assume that Karan Horn here took the marksmanship action during the activation phase, and it is now the combat phase. And let's just say that it is Karan Horn's turn to fire on this TIE Advanced over here. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and, at range 1, roll 4 attack dice. And let's say he gets a few hits in. Again, this is just example purposes, nothing fancy. He goes ahead and uses the marksmanship ability to get some extra damage on the TIE Advanced. And that's it. Now his fire control system kicks in. After you perform an attack, you may acquire a target lock on the defender. So he performed an attack, and there he is, okay? So let's just say that the TIE Advanced shoots back and does a little bit of damage to the E-Wing, no big deal. Now it is the end phase. At the start of the end phase, you may perform 1 attack, and you cannot attack during the next round. Now, this ability is great to use when you're at close range, especially when you've got fire control system and marksmanship already on your person. Because with the fire control system during the combat phase, you gained a target lock. And now you can use said target lock during the end phase if you use his special ability, in conjunction with marksmanship, no less. So now, Karan Horn is going to go ahead and use that ability again to attack. He's at range 1, so he gets 4 attack dice, he has the target lock, and he has marksmanship. All of that at close range is pretty deadly. And the nice thing about this is that the player here is probably going to be veering off and not going to be in range to actually attack the TIE Advanced later on during the next round anyway. So you want to use Karan Horn's ability when you foresee yourself not being able to attack the next round anyway. So yeah, that's what I do anyway when it comes to Karan Horn. I find I get close range, use his special ability with marksmanship, fire control, and then I veer off to regroup, knowing that I'm not going to attack next round, and then I'll be able to attack the round following that. The next combination we're going to look at is Tarn Meeson, or Myson, I don't know how to pronounce that, in an X-Wing with the R7 Astromech. Tarn's special ability states, when an enemy ship declares you as the target of an attack, you may acquire a target lock on that ship. The R7 Astromech states, once per round, when defending, if you have a target lock on the attacker, you may spend the target lock to choose any or all attack dice. The attacker must re-roll the chosen dice. So just to quickly show you what that looks like. So in this example, we've got this TIE Defender here bearing down on Tarn. Now, what's Tarn going to do? Well, he has an option with this R7 Astromech here and his special ability. Let's say that the TIE Defender declares him as the target, and because of that, Tarn Meeson's ability gets to kick in. When an enemy ship declares you as the target of an attack, you may acquire a target lock. Okay, so he's got a target lock now, but what's he going to do with it? Well, that's where the R7 Astromech kicks in. When the TIE Defender fires on the X-Wing, let's say he rolls focus and a blank. Okay, so let's say he rolls that. Okay, so now Tarn Meeson's R7, he's going to go ahead and spend the target lock to choose the hit token here, and he's going to make him re-roll that. So let's say he rolls that and gets a blank. So now, if this guy had a focus token, he could use that to change that into a hit, but he doesn't. So in this particular instance, because Tarn Meeson here had the R7 Astromech, he saved himself a point of damage. So pretty effective. Another ship combination, Rexler Brath, which is this TIE Defender over here, coupled with Heavy Laser Cannon and Predator. Okay, so in this situation, we've got this TIE Defender here, Rexler Brath, bearing down on the Hawk 290, Jan Orr's Pilot Skill 8. Now, with Rexler Brath, he has an ability. After you perform an attack that deals at least one damage card to the defender, you may spend a focus token to flip those cards face up. He's also got this Heavy Laser Cannon, which is an attack with 4 attack dice, range 2 to 3. Immediately after rolling your attack dice, you must change all of your crit results to hit results. Now, you would think that these two conflict with each other, but there's some timing involved that puts the final result in the favor of Rexler Brath. He's also got Predator. When attacking, you may re-roll 1 attack die. If the defender's pilot skill value is 2 or lower, you may instead re-roll up to 2 attack dice. So let's say that it is the attack, or the combat phase. Rexler Brath takes a focus token so that he can prep this ability here, because again, you need to spend a focus token to flip damage cards face up. So he's going to go ahead and use his Heavy Laser Cannon, and let's say he rolls focus, and we'll do a blank. Okay. Again, this is just example purposes. Okay, so we've got a hit and a crit there, okay, and a focus. But his Predator allows him to re-roll 1 die. Her pilot skill is 8, so he can only re-roll 1. So he's going to go ahead and re-roll the blank and let's say he rolls that and gets a hit. So now you've got 2 hits and a crit here. Now he could use the focus token to give himself another hit, but he's not going to do that. He's going to go ahead and leave it as is. And because he used the Heavy Laser Cannon, he has to change all of these crits to a hit. So it's just this one. Now he's got 3 hits instead of a hit and 2 crits. Okay? So now, Rexler Brath is going to go ahead and use his special ability. After you perform an attack that deals at least 1 damage card to the defender, you may spend a focus token to flip those cards face up. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of damage this guy gets. Let's say this person is full strength, has 1 shield, 4 hull. So that's 1, 2, 3 hits. So he would get 2 face down damage cards. Now, Rexler Brath can spend his focus token to flip these 2 cards face up. Okay, you've got a damaged engine and a minor explosion. Had that been 2 direct hits, you would have gotten 2 more damage cards there and would have wiped out Jan ores here altogether. So he sacrificed 1 point of damage here by not taking the focus to inflict 2 criticals that he normally wouldn't have been able to inflict. Alright, next combination, Kyle Katarn and the Hawk 290 coupled with the Blaster Turret, Moldy Crow Title, and Recon Specialist. Just to quickly sum this up, you're going to be getting a crap ton of focus tokens, which allows you to then not only use your Blaster Turret, but provide support for other nearby ships. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so just for example purposes, let's just say that the Hawk 290 is the only ship that hasn't activated yet, and let's say he does so and ends up somewhere out here. Again, example purposes. So, as his action, he'll take a focus token. Now, there's a few things going on, so we'll tackle them one at a time. Recon Specialist, when you perform a focus action, assign 1 additional focus token to your ship. Okay, that's 1. Now it's the combat phase. At the start of the combat phase, you may assign 1 of your focus tokens to another friendly ship at range 1 to 3. Definitely 1 to 3 there. So he's going to go ahead and assign the Y-Wing a focus token, which betters his chances because he already has a target lock for, like, say, a proton torpedo attack or whatever the case may be, and he has an extra focus token to use to ensure that he gets a few hits in, hopefully. So now there's that one. Okay, now you've got the Blaster Turret. This Recon Specialist gives him an extra focus token, which then can be used for his Blaster Turret. As an attack, spend 1 focus token to perform this attack against 1 ship, even a ship outside your firing arc. So taking 2 focus tokens not only allows you to support 1 ship, but also keep 1 for yourself so that you can use your Blaster Turret. In the event that you don't use your focus token right away, that's where the Moldy Crow title kicks in. During the end phase, do not remove unused focus tokens from your ship. So, like, during the beginning of the game, because you're not really in range to do anything, you can start queuing up focus tokens like no one's business, and then start assigning them out throughout the game, and still use your Blaster Turret. So, yeah, pretty cool combo. Okay, the next combo involves Darth Vader in his TIE Advanced with the engine upgrade and Daredevil. Just to quickly summarize this, he can do all sorts of fun things. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so let's just say, for example purposes, that everyone has activated except for the TIE Advance. Let's say the TIE Advance had just moved, and now Darth Vader gets to take 2 actions. That's his special ability. During your perform action step, you may perform 2 actions. Well, you've also got this engine upgrade and Daredevil to look at. Engine upgrade says your action bar gains the boost action icon, and Daredevil says action, execute a red hard 1 maneuver. If you do not have a boost action icon, roll 2 attack dice, suffer any damage, hit, or crit results rolled. But you have the engine upgrade, so you don't have to worry about the bottom half of that Daredevil card. So, yeah, in this particular situation, Darth Vader is not liking his chances. Normally in a one-on-one, Darth Vader has had the option of doing like a target lock and a focus, and just hoping to outgun the other person. But in this case, we've got an X-Wing and a B-Wing, both of which can roll 3 attack dice, so he's not liking his chances. So Darth Vader wants to try and negate as much damage as possible by sort of flanking them. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and use the first action to boost, which is part of this engine upgrade here. So let's say that Darth Vader ends out like somewhere up here. Alright, and now he can use the Daredevil ability, execute a red hard 1 maneuver. So he's going to go ahead and do that. Now, because it just says red maneuver, you have to take a stress token. Okay? So, while Darth Vader did not get to take a target lock or focus, he is now in range 1 of the X-Wing to attack him, and the other 2 can't even attack back. So he gave up the target lock and the focus, yeah, granted, but now he doesn't have to worry about dying. So, yeah, with the engine upgrade and the Daredevil, and on top of that, you don't have to use the boost if you don't want to. Let's say you're, like, somewhere here, you could take the barrel roll instead. And then you could do the 1 hard turn if you want. Something like that. So you have options. With Darth Vader having the ability to perform 2 actions, you have a wide range of abilities that you could use on your turn to get out of some pretty bad situations. Okay, so these next two are pretty obvious, but I figured I'd cover them anyway. Starting with Crassus Trelix Fire Spray 31. When attacking with a secondary weapon, you may reroll one attack die. Obviously, you'll want like a heavy laser cannon or some type of secondary weapon on this ship to make use of that. So pretty good combination here. Over here, Dash Rendar and the YT-2400. I think any pilot will do, honestly. There is one pilot, I believe, don't quote me on it, that uses primary weapons as a special ability. So that's the only pilot I think that you wouldn't want to use the Outrider title with. Yeah, there we go. The YT-2400 only title says, when you have a heavy weapon upgrade card equipped, you cannot perform primary weapon attacks. However, you can perform secondary weapon attacks against other ships outside of your firing arc. So basically you can shoot your secondary weapon in 360 degrees. And obviously you'll want a heavy laser cannon for that. Next, we're going to look at the Decimator. Pretty powerful ship with very little defense. 0 defense to be exact, but there are ways around it. Commander Kenkirk, for example. If you have no shields and at least one damage card assigned to you, increase your agility value by 1. Combine that with Izane Izard. I don't know how to pronounce that. At the start, she's in the X-Wing books, I know that. At the start of the combat phase, if you have no shields and at least one damage card assigned to your ship, you may perform a free evade action. So with these two ships combined, you can sort of turn your Decimator into a tank. Okay? Now you've got ways to sort of customize your Decimator to make it a little bit more aggressive, especially if you want to run into things. Captain Oikunn, I think he is, O-I-C-U-N-N. Again, Decimator. After executing a maneuver, each enemy ship you are touching suffers 1 damage. Combine that with Intimidation, which is an elite talent. When you are touching an enemy ship, reduce that ship's agility value by 1. Now, you've also got these two other upgrades over here that do well together. Expose is a good one for the Decimator simply because it has no agility value. It reads, as an action, until the end of the round, increase your primary weapon value by 1 and decrease your agility value by 1. So if you happen to use this one, this is an elite talent, so you can't combine it with this, or Intimidation. But if you were to use Expose, you would decrease your normal agility value 0 to 0, and you wouldn't lose anything, and you'd get an extra attack die. And again, the Decimator can fire in 360 degrees, which is pretty nice. So 4 attack dice, 360 degrees, pretty decent. Now, if you combine that with Experimental Interface, it's a modification. Once per round, after you perform an action, Expose, you may perform 1 free action from an equipped upgrade card with the action header, then receive 1 stress token. So basically the way these two work is, the Decimator would activate, move, take an action, preferably like a target lock or focus. And then, using the modification, here, the Experimental Interface, you can take the Expose action as your second action, and then that'll give you an extra attack dice. So again, just to recap, move, target lock or focus, use your modification, which allows you to take Expose, which gives you an extra attack dice. Couple that with your target lock or focus, whatever you took, and you've got a pretty powerful attack coming. Next, we're going to look at Hobby Klivian in this X-Wing. He's got his choice between 2 different astromechs that'll serve him well, coupled with his special ability. His special ability states, when you acquire or spend a target lock, you may remove 1 stress token from your ship. So, combined with these 2 astromechs here, you can do some pretty interesting things. Okay, so in this example, let's say that Hobby is sporting R3A2, okay, which is an astromech. When you declare the target of your attack, if the defender is inside your firing arc, which the TIE fighter is, you may receive 1 stress token to cause the defender to receive 1 stress token. Alright, now that's just step 1. So let's say that Hobby does that and does that, okay? So now, let's say that they exchange some fire. When you acquire... Okay, so in this example we have two ships that just activated. The X-Wing took a target lock on the TIE Fighter, the TIE Fighter took a focus. In this example, let's say that Hobby has the R3-A2 astromech, which reads, when you declare the target of your attack, if the defender is inside your firing arc, which the TIE Fighter is, you may receive 1 stress token to cause the defender to receive 1 stress token. So let's just say that Hobby does that. He's going to give himself a stress and give the TIE Fighter a stress. Now, let's say that they're going to go ahead with the combat phase and attack each other. Now, let's say that the X-Wing fires first, and the X-Wing goes ahead and uses his target lock. Even though he's stressed, he can still perform actions. I mean, he can use tokens that he has. He just can't perform actions during the activation phase. So he uses his target lock against the TIE Fighter, and his special ability reads, when you acquire or spend a target lock, you may remove 1 stress token from your ship. This puts the X-Wing in a great position, because on the following turn, that frees him up to do a K-turn, or something like that, whereas the TIE Fighter has a stress token and is forced to use a green maneuver or something to try and get rid of it. And he can't perform its own K-turn in order to turn around and attack the X-Wing. So this particular maneuver puts Hobby in a pretty good position. Okay, so in this example, let's say that Hobby is sporting the R7-T1 astromech. As an action, choose an enemy ship at range 1 to 2. If you are inside that ship's firing arc... Alright, now the next combo is pretty situational, and I don't really recommend this one, but it's worth playing around with anyway. R7-T1. As an action, choose an enemy ship at range 1 to 2. If you are inside that ship's firing arc, you may acquire a target lock on that ship. Then you may perform 1 free action. Now, the problem here is that whenever you're stressed, you can't take an action. Okay, had this been like a passive ability, that would have been one thing. But this is an action. So the only real way I see this working is over the course of multiple rounds. Just to quickly demonstrate here, let's just say that the X-Wing activated and moved and now has to take an action, okay? And as you can see here, the TIE Fighter is in striking distance and the X-Wing's kind of in trouble. So he's going to go ahead and use his action, which basically allows him to take a target lock on the defender and then do a free boost action. This will basically allow Hobby here to get out of range. Now this will set him up to use his ability during a future round. Let's just say that over the course of the next few rounds, he tries to get back into position to attack this TIE Fighter here. And along the way, that may have involved maybe a K-turn, which gave himself a stress token, something like that, okay? Now that he has a stress token, now that he already has the target lock, he can go ahead and use his special ability to spend the target lock, which also removes the stress token. So basically, you can use R7-T1 to set yourself up a few moves later so that you don't have to use a green maneuver to get rid of a stress token that you might pick up along the way. Again, this is a very situational thing, and I would recommend R3-A2 over R7-T1 any day. Okay, so this next one isn't my preferred combo. In fact, I don't prefer to use it at all. But it's a combo that's worth checking out anyway, I think. It's Jack Porkins and an X-Wing coupled with R5-D8, which is an astromech. His ability states, when you receive a stress token, you may remove it and roll 1 attack die. On a hit result, deal 1 face-down damage card to your ship. There are 3 hit results on an attack die. So there's a 3 in 8 chance that every time you use his ability, you'll take damage. Okay? Now, R5-D8, as an action, roll 1 defense die. On an evade or focus result, discard 1 of your face-down damage cards. There are 2 focus and 3 evades, which is a 5 in 8 chance of succeeding with this particular action. So in theory, this guy can do K-turns and red maneuvers to his heart's content, and the odds will favor removing that damage sometime down the line. The only thing I don't like about this is that it requires a whole action to do it, and I would rather spend that action performing a target lock or focus action. Okay, so this next combo involves Wes Jansen and another pilot with Opportunist. It's very important that the second pilot have an equal or lower pilot skill to Wes Jansen. Basically, you want Wes Jansen to fire first, because of his ability. After you perform an attack, you may remove one focus, evade, or blue target lock token from the defender. So Wes Jansen is going to fire first to remove the enemy's token, and then the second pilot is going to fire on their turn, using Opportunist. When attacking, if the defender does not have any focus or evade tokens, you may receive one stress token to roll one additional attack die. You cannot use this ability if you have any stress tokens. So basically it's a 1-2 punch. Wes Jansen strips the target of the token so that the next pilot can use Opportunist and get an extra attack die at the cost of a stress token. Just to quickly illustrate that for you, let's say that this is Wes Jansen in the X-Wing here, and then you've got any Z95 pilot over here with Opportunist, okay, one that has the elite pilot trait. Anyway, let's say that is the combat phase. Wes Jansen goes first, attacks, and then using his special ability, strips the TIE bomber of its focus token. And then more fire is exchanged. Then finally you've come to this Z95 pilot with the Opportunist ability. And it says here, when attacking, if the defender does not have any focus or evade tokens, which Wes Jansen stripped that, you can receive one stress token to roll an extra attack die. So in this case, the Z95 would get to roll 3 attack dice. If this were range 2, if it were range 1, it'd be 4 attack die. Klivian Farlander, hopefully I pronounced that right. He's a pilot of a B-Wing, and he has a special ability that I think meshes well with advanced sensors and stay on target. Okay, so in this example we've got a B-Wing and a TIE Phantom back there, okay? And let's just say that the B-Wing miscalculated. The TIE Phantom is pretty maneuverable, and the B-Wing didn't exactly know where the thing would end up. And let's just say that his maneuver would actually take him somewhere down here, which isn't what he wants. So to get around that, he has a few abilities. So advanced sensors. Immediately before revealing your maneuver, you may perform one free action. Okay, and this is something that you'll want to do because you're going to want to use stay on target next. Immediately before revealing your maneuver, you may perform one free action. If you use this ability, you must skip your perform action step during this round. So let's just say he decides to take a target lock on the TIE Phantom like so. Okay, now when you reveal a maneuver, you may rotate your dial to another maneuver with the same speed. Treat that maneuver as a red maneuver. So instead of going this way, he opts to go this way, but that is a red maneuver. That'll give him a stress token. This is why he used advanced sensors, because had he waited to use his ability or his action, he wouldn't have been able to take it because he would have been stressed. So he took the action first because he knew he would be using stay on target next. And then you've got his special ability. When attacking, you may remove one stress token to change all of your focus results to hit results. So basically it's a 1-2-3 combo that works pretty well with Klivian Farlander. Alright, the next combo I want to look at, Colonel Gendun in the Lambda-Class Shuttle, coupled with the ST-321 title. Okay, so what's so good about this combo? Well, Colonel Gendun's special ability states, at the start of the combat phase, you may assign one of your blue target lock tokens to a friendly ship at range 1 if it does not have a blue target lock token. Then the title states, when acquiring a target lock, you may lock onto any enemy ship in the play area. So basically you don't have to abide by the hole within range 3. So at the very beginning of the game, in theory, what you could do is you can move your ships up slowly, and every round you'll be using the Lambda-Class Shuttle to acquire target locks on the ships all the way across the map. And then during the combat phase, you can then pass off that token to another ship that may support a target lock for the use of concussion missiles, whatever the case may be. And then ships move up, and ships get closer. Another target lock against, say, this ship down here, combat phase, passes this off, and then when they finally get in range of each other, all of these other ships are going to have target locks, and then they could take like a focus or something to improve their chances of landing their concussion missiles or whatever they happen to use with their target lock. Last but not least, we have everyone's favorite TIE fighter, Hal Runner. Hal Runner's special ability: when another friendly ship at range 1 is attacking with its primary weapon, it may re-roll 1 attack die. So yeah, everyone that has played X-Wing is probably most familiar with this particular combo. Basically, the idea behind this is the TIE Swarm. Any ship will do, but most people use a TIE Swarm. And basically what that involves is keeping as many ships around Hal Runner as possible, so that when they get into firing range, all of them can re-roll 1 attack die, with the exception of Hal Runner. Hal Runner is the only one that cannot use her own ability. But every other ship around Hal Runner will be able to make use of her special ability. Alright, and there you have it. What a long and exhausting video. This took me 4 hours to record. Hope you guys appreciate it. So yeah, like I said, this will not cover all of the possible combinations in Star Wars X-Wing, but hopefully it'll get you started if you're new to the game and are looking for different ships to mess around with. My advice to you: if you're not sure if it would make a good combo, try it out and see if it works. I mean, it's not like you're playing the lottery and you're going to lose money and all that. Just put some ships together, put some upgrades cards together, and see if they mesh well. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Who knows, you may come across something that you really, really like to use, and may even use it every single time you play. So, with that being said, if you guys do want to see more gameplay videos and other stuff regarding X-Wing, or Armada for that matter, stay tuned. This is probably one of my most popular playlists on my YouTube channel, so yeah, more stuff is coming. I just don't know when I'm getting around to it. You know, family of 5, full-time job, 4 pets. It's a hectic life. But I'm preaching to the choir here, aren't I? So with that being said, be patient. I'll release more content as I can. So with that said, this is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.